for us, like content creation, we've running a business. I know you're big on YouTube and you do a lot of YouTube, and it takes a lot of time, don't it? So how do you find your content side for you?
Well, I've shifted to Instagram a lot.
Yeah.
And most of what I'm uploading to YouTube now is a re-upload from an Instagram reel. So
yeah, I'm doing the same for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, I was going to say to you that I decided to get back to YouTube, starting with the members. Well, I'll go back some steps. So YouTube took off. It's not huge, but it's like 32,000 subscribers, but they're quite committed followers.
Yeah.
So people started asking me, how can I give back? Because you've shared knowledge that's helped me to build a job or make money or whatever. So my wife looked into, we looked first at Patreon, because that's what everyone was using, and then my wife found this thing called buymeacoffee.com.
Yeah.
And people were literally saying, I would like to buy you a coffee, buy you a beer. And we thought, well, this is perfect. It doesn't feel like
asking. The
asking.
content you do put out is very helpful, to be honest with you. So I can see why people would want to buy you a coffee for it.
Yeah, cheers. And it's, I think, I mean, talking about pain as a motivator, the reason I put helpful content out was when I was learning, with no background really in the trade, I thought, many times I thought, I wish someone was there to tell me how this hinge works or how to choose a sliding door mechanism.
Yeah.
So once I learnt those things, I wanted to share it. I was genuinely motivated by wanting to help people. So then, it turned into something I could monetize because people asked me to monetize it. That was a nice thing about it.
Yeah.
And I think because I'd earned my stripes in consistently putting out useful content. I think some people these days, it's like everyone wants to be an influencer and they want to straight away get a deal with CT1 or whatever, you know, once they've got, you know, a few hundred followers. And I think, I mean, you can do that, but you can't.
It takes a lot of work, doesn't it?
It does take a lot of work to do it well, to build trust with your audience and to show that you're in it for the long term and you're really offering value.
And like the time involved, I think, because like we've just decided now to stop it. Well, we was doing like for the last 6-7 months, we've been doing like a kind of weekly blog, but it was becoming daily. Now mixed in with the Instagram Reels, the TikToks, all the other stuff, which I'm kind of overseeing and I'm involved in. Adding that kind of pressure every single day, and we do something. Oh, I should have recorded that. It was just adding unnecessary pressure.
Yeah.
So I could see long run if I had a much bigger team and you know, obviously Jake, who's with us now, is kind of part-time cameraman. We've got a full-time cameraman, and I could see it could probably work. Because I can see other guys that do it. But for us now, I'm changing my focus, so I'm going more now. Take that pressure off, and just put more customer-based content out there with the odd kind of tool stuff and machine and what we're doing and stuff around the workshop really. Yeah. Because of the time involved and stuff that it takes actually recording it and stuff.
It does take a long time, and that was the thing with YouTube for me, was putting a YouTube together. I'd say it averaged maybe 6 hours. So some I'd do a one-take thing. And to be honest, interestingly, some of those are my biggest videos. Just natural. So some might just be, I mean, still be a couple of hours at least by the time I've checked through the video, maybe trimmed it, done a thumbnail, uploaded it, done some text and so on. But some of them, I mean, I've done videos, they might be 12 hours or even more altogether. When the
time you've put in.
Because you've got loads of clips and then you bring them together and then you think, oh, no, I'll put that one there. And then because I want to share information, I go looking up the code of the part so I can overlay it and all this stuff. And I think my viewers knew that it took time, and that's why there was this sort of gratitude that led to the membership site. But once the business started to grow, I just thought I can't sustain this. So I did shift to Instagram, and I try now to, like, I'll do a set of footage that in the past I might have edited to a 20-minute video, and I always felt like 20 minutes was the sweet spot. And I think that was advice I got originally from the Gosforth handyman. So he sort of does a DIY trade type channel. And I just remember him saying 20 minutes is a good amount of time for a YouTube video that's going to be quite informative. But these days, I'll take the same footage and I'll set myself the challenge of can I communicate as much in 90 seconds? And often I can actually. And I think, why did I...
Get the point across.
Exactly, because it's just like, before I'd be like, here's how you do this and this is the tool. And now it's just like, I do it and people see the tool. And then I'm on to the next thing. And I quite enjoy, because if I'm given the chance, I will ramble on. And I get, in equal measures on my old YouTube videos, I get people absolutely raving about how helpful a video has been.
Can you go
and someone on the same video, but someone on the same video will go, "Oh, you're so boring. You just waffle on." But then it's about target market, isn't it?
100%. And different platforms like YouTube is all about the long form, isn't it? Really?
Yes.
But like, even if it's funny you should say that, if you look back to our like old Facebook business posters, like some of the videos I was doing on a job was up to like 7 minutes long, and I look back now and I think no one would have really been engaged for 7 minutes. But now I realise if you can get it to around a minute and 20, you can use that on TikTok, YouTube Shorts. You do use TikTok, do you, as well?
I don't. I've been tempted. I've always kept clear to keep focused on one platform because I figure I'm distracted enough as it is.
You can use the same as what you're making from...
I see.
Yeah. So what you're doing then, I use that same thing on there, on TikTok. It is definitely a different platform, but we've had some good leads through it, so it works for us. It's just another angle. In my eyes, I think the more eyes that you're around everywhere, the more people are seeing your business. So at the minute, even like LinkedIn, we've got Sue, my mum, the admin, so she's currently doing a lot on LinkedIn and even Twitter, X, which I don't have the time or knowledge to do. So she's decided, right, I'll take them two off here.
So will she take your footage from the others and just upload it and manage
then put it on
comments and stuff?
And she will basically just fully control them, and then me and Dave will do the YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, which Instagram's brilliant, to be honest with you.
I like Instagram. I feel like I'm in part of a community there, and I guess I am just wary of getting overstretched because I like keeping hold of that side of things. I like taking the footage myself, doing the edit myself, although I must admit I'm tempted to use Jake's skills, and I think maybe next time I've got a long edit to do, I might give you a try, Jake.
But on to like obviously Jake here now, and Jake, what you just said about like taking up to 12 hours to edit. Like Jake, as an experienced video guy and editor, when we first done the first TopBuild TV, mate was like, he said, this is going to take me about 20 hours a week. It could be up to get it with the amount of different things, because he's having to watch every clip,
put them
together,
watch it, rewatch it, trim it,
stuff like that. So much
refine
time,
it,
And I thought at the end, for like all that pressure every day, I've got to record this. Eliminate that and do productive stuff that's going to build the business. Like we started making the videos I showed you earlier for different aspects of what we do, like understair storage. So we're doing all these more classy kind of things that are going to be on our new website, which is being built.
Well, I think what's good with that as well is that you're doing it for a very focused reason. So you said to me, you're taking a video which you're planning to put at the footer of an email that gets sent out to your next understair storage inquiry, and that's strategic. And so just constantly making content isn't necessarily
so every
smart.
Quote we send, whatever quote it'll be, will have a video linked to that, attached to it. To give new customers who don't really know too much about us a bit of a feel to what we're about, to be honest with you, and a bit of a tour of the workshop and the process of how it works for us when they order, So.
And to get to know you. I think that's a big part of it. If they keep seeing you pop up and they think, oh, this guy sounds genuine, sounds friendly, I could see him working in my house, that's a big sales tool.
100%.
Yeah.
Because we're actually out in Switzerland together, aren't we, next
month? That's right,
At Lamello,
Lamello,
So obviously it's first time for me being invited out there, to be honest, but is it second?
It's the second time I've gone out. What's
it like out there? It
was great. It was such a fun trip. I mean, it was the same year, but off the back of COVID, Lamello and Finzer did a trip, and Finzer were really annoyed because Lamello just beat them to it, inviting people out, and it was like the new thing. And I think it's part of a realization from a lot of these companies that they need to be working with the guys on Instagram and YouTube, because people that use their products genuinely like them and talk about them are like gold to them, I think, for marketing.
Finzer's boards, I don't know what you find that, but for us, the cutting compared to most of the chipboard cores and stuff, it's like just beautiful cuts and lovely to work with for us on our fitted furniture. The 1220 range.
The 1220 range, I mean, we went for that. I'll be honest, we went for it primarily because of the format size, the 8x4 format. It just goes, because it fits on our racks, fits on our CNC machine, and so we've not really cut much chipboard core on the machine. But I do hear people say
the difference on the nice cutting, especially from the CNC. We've CNC'd stuff like in comparison on the same day, and like even Dave, who's not like by trade a woodworker, and he'll say, "Why are you using that one?" Because he doesn't know the in-depth knowledge about it, but he'll say, why on earth are you not using that all the time? It's like such a big difference to the eye.
It is. It's better.
So what about like mirror cutting and stuff? Do you do that in house?
We don't. We've got a glass place just down the road. Most jobs where we fitted glass, I've had trouble. I've had little scratches and revisits and things. So we don't.
we did it initially with a few parts, and we've personally just come up with a system like we've dedicated this area here, although this is a rack, but we've dedicated this area and this. We've just got outside, as you've just seen now, 50 sheets been delivered.
So
obviously, because we've got down to our last 10 now, so as soon as we get down to the last 10 or so, we then order another 50, which will keep us going for a while. But then this area will be pure mirror, but as I was saying earlier, we won't cut that mirror until like the death of the job. So if we know we've got a wardrobe next month and we've made and sprayed all the doors and they're ready, we won't put that mirror in and fix the doors until towards the kind of end with it, really, just for that reason of them being damaged, you know. So we try and do that towards the end because you can get like minute little scratches, but
so that's what cut straight into the door, fretwork on and then wrapped.
Fretwork on and then wrapped, so it works out great.
Well, that does make sense, and that's, I mean, we got all this training on lean production from a business coach, and there's this idea of just-in-time production, so you deliberately make stuff, as long as you know your timeline of how long it's going to take, you pretty much deliberately choose to start that amount of time before it goes out to the customer. But it's very risky because if your systems aren't perfectly dialed in and something goes wrong, then it doesn't work out. But I see the sense in that, because that's definitely saving you damage and error.
For that, and even before we started cutting, to be honest, we was doing the same. We was buying off someone local and we was ordering. But again, we were still finding, like, having them come up, we still finding little problems then, because he was buying it in, cutting it, and then dropping it to us. And he was actually another wardrobe guy, and I still get on with him now, to be honest with you, but he just cut a lot of mirror, and he used to help us out, and I'd ring him the sizes on 10 doors a few years back, and then we just realised, you know, buy them at a manageable size. So we buy everything now, all our mirror at 762, because like, I just feel like it's a nice size to carry. You can get 3 doors out of that typically, you know.
But I wondered if, so you chose that size, that's not like a standard stock size, you get it cut to that
specific size, a pack of 50 to that, because we found with most doors we find, we can sometimes get 3 and sometimes 2, and then we'll have like the odd off cut or whatever. But we just find anything bigger than that then, because we carry them on our own over to the bench and then fold them over. Anything bigger, you risk factor of snapping, you know. So that's a nice manageable size.
You are making me think. A lot of what we're talking about is making me think, because what I was saying about when I've done glass jobs and we've had scratches, often those are from our glass supplier. So actually, if we did what you did, we'd have the control.
This is it. So we buy them straight from the supplier, and then it's cut out of that, because that same reason we was pulling it here, and then we was like, well, have we done that, or was that coming in the van getting it here? So now we just buy a pack that comes in. We know it's all fresh, and then just cut them towards the very end of the job, basically. And touch wood, we haven't had any problems with our mirror for at least, you know, a good 12 months or something. So
good.
I'll show you through to the
let's have a look at the spray booth. We went through a phase when I was in and out of the workshop, and I kept saying, oh, I'll be down in a minute, and I'll get caught doing emails or the next design or whatever. And Brady was just making things his own and coming up with methods. So it's.
But I think it's like the whole team building. For us, it's been a massive thing. So as I said to you before TopBuild, I had another one, which was like a completely different format, but it's a much larger team. Like there was all subcontractors, but on an average week, it was like 20 to 25 lads. And there was all new build sites, and then we had a lot of extensions, different type of work, but a lot of like carpentry and the odd wardrobe and stuff. But it was so much like aggro dealing with that many people that wasn't committed, because it was like someone could ring us on a Friday and go, I'm a carpenter and was desperate, you know, oh, can you start Monday? Whereas now I'm so picky. We'd be full interview process. And even if they're brilliant, they've got to be able to get on with the team. Prime example here, obviously Danny. So obviously when Danny come up with us, he's obviously got a lot of experience in what he does, and I've got to give it to Danny. On the interview, he'd come in, and then he'd come back up of his own back the next day, and he's like, give me the spray gun upstairs, let me show you. You know, and I love that.
That's a good sign.
So didn't he come upstairs, he picked up the gun.
Initiative, not waiting.
No.
And
he had the gun on the door as well, before he said anything, that's got to go.
That's it. He walked in, he's like, there's a gun on here, that's got to go. And to be honest, he picked up, and I just watched his technique at the start, and it was such a nice technique, and obviously I thought, you know, I can definitely work. And personality-wise, Danny fits in like just a treat. It's like, it seems like you've been here for ages, don't you? Because everyone gets on so well. It's, I think that's such a big factor, because you could get someone who's absolutely brilliant, and we've had it in the past, but they can't get on with the other lads. And that wrong egg.
Or they're so full of their own competence that they think their way is best.
And that's the thing with me. It's like, I own TopBuild, but for instance, it's all a big discussion. So if we get a project in, and I'll go, right lads, we're going to make this, we're going to use Tenzos on that part, we're going to do this, and then so Danny might go, actually on spray painting, I think we should change this and think. And then rather than me go, no, 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 this is how we're doing it, I'll listen and I think, you know what, actually that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So it's like a big team on every project. Sometimes we're halfway through and it might say, do you know, we could change that last bit on here. And then we'll think about it and we'll change how we're doing it mid-job.
Yeah.
You know, it's just between us as a big team, and I think that's an important factor.
I agree. I saw this little clip of Steve Jobs on Instagram, really old clip when he still had his hair, and he was saying when you build a business, you've got to start with getting A-grade employees, because once you get a small team of A-grade employees in place, they're going to vet everyone else that comes in. They're going to set the standard. They're going to tell you, no, this guy's not up to scratch, and then recruitment and everything is shared.
Yeah.
So I think that's where you're at.
But that's what I found, and what I've sort of learnt before. At the start, I was trying to do like absolutely everything kind of myself. Like up until Danny come, our old apprentice, I had spent like 2 years training them, got them to the point of priming. But as a rule of thumb, generally, I was the one spraying in between the quoting, the customers, everything too much. And then I started to realise, like Jake behind the camera now, I started to realise you can't do everything. I invested in loads of expensive camera equipment, and I thought, why am I doing this when I could just delegate it? That will still free me up to earn more money in another sense that I'm good at. So obviously it took some pressure. So now half of my week has been saved with the prep and the spray.
It must be a good feeling.
Yeah,
and you can stand here chatting with me while he's doing it.
But because Danny's so passionate about what you're doing, aren't you, Dan? It's like he loves this. Is Danny's booth now, and he's come in and he's asked to change it up. When he first came in, he's like, can I change this? Can I change that? And I said, do you know what, Dan? This is your booth. So
and that's what you want. If your staff feel a sense of ownership, but there's mutual respect, because you know you've still got a say, you know, the final say, then it's good for everyone. Yeah,
100%. But we've got a nice like vibe in this workshop. There's no one that's funny with each other. Everyone's a bit of a laugh and a joke, but the work gets done, you know. So everyone knows the limit. It's like, and that's what, going back onto TikTok. It's like we found over on that platform that the humorous ones, the silly ones, they do really well. So obviously Dave, he's quite funny because we've done a few over there, and he brings a lot of eyes to the business, you know. But then
I think maybe I need to get Brady on behind the camera more often, because he's good with that. Yeah.
But that's it. It's finding the balance.
So not behind it, in front of the camera.
Platforms, isn't it? It's like there's so many angles to it, and it's finding what works. But I don't think anyone walks into a business and knows it's impossible to know. You have to trial and error on everything. And then you find, even with the automation, you find, oh, that works for me, I'm going to stick with that.
Yeah, well, cheers for having me around. And I couldn't resist giving you a couple of 3D squares.
I've seen these online, they look absolutely great. I can see you CNC make these, and I'd like to be interested to see how you use them, to be honest, Alastair.
Yeah, well, we're ready, so let's have a look. Let's just pop this out. The idea with this, and we do still use it, even though we've gone CNC. The idea is just that it's a 3D squaring device, which instead of just being like an L shape, because you'll get people, they'll be putting cabinets together with an L-shaped square, but then they've got to clamp that L maybe up the top, clamp a second one down at the bottom, and they're still fighting with the boards.
So we've got like this little cheaper kind of corner one, but it doesn't look nothing like that, to be honest. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how that works.
So yeah, starting again. So that would be our bookcase side. We'd pocket hole that. So we go all 18mm material, including the back panel. Pocket that at the back. This would be your back panel. And your back panel would be your guide to the squareness of the whole thing. So we would start by fixing that along the side, so that's flush. So then that's stood upright. And the method means that you're never having to rotate this heavy unit. You're always working top down.
From there.
So you've got your marks. We've got a mark on that piece there. So if that's the bottom of the shelf, you clamp this on, and it's designed to be most efficient with a rail clamp. So that'll just sit on. So get that up.
Oh, amazing.
So now it's in position. The overhanging lip makes sure that it's square in all three directions. So once that's held there, you know that any board you put up against the other face is dead square, but also aligned to where you want your shelf to be.
Oh, very clever.
Would buy a Domino or a biscuit jointer and mainly use it just to square up a joint. Because the process then would be you'd lay your bookcase side down, you'd clamp a square fence on it, you'd pop into that twice, you'd do the same twice into the edge of your shelf.
No, I like it.
And a lot of people are then just screwing anyway for the final pull tight. We just go with Conformat screws, which are like a screw and a dowel in one. Once it's all squared up like you see here, you just do a guideline straight down, drill in, screw, and away you go. And then once you've got that set up, and once that shelf was screwed in, you really want to be using the rail squares because they're designed to stay engaged on the jig.
Yeah, I can see
So
the
then you
process.
just move along. Yeah.
No, amazing. I love the design of them as well, to be honest with you. Yeah.
It's dead square as well. Test it later, you know.
Yeah, definitely. To be honest, you'll see this on our Instagram and our reels. We'll be using this, me and Luke.
Yeah, give it a try.
Yeah, definitely.
I tell you what, a few businesses tell me they like it for is when they want to set on an apprentice and their skills aren't necessarily great, they just give them a square.
Yeah.
They tell them that basic method, and then they know they can at least start assembling carcasses.
No, it's great. Really, really, really nice design.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And the mini's good for drawer boxes and door frames because we found sometimes you're trying to assemble something where it's just a bit too deep with the original or the MIDI. So it could be just a butt joint like that you're going to screw. It could be a mitre joint, but you know then that it will hold together square. And when we pre-spray our skirting, say on an alcove cabinet, and you've got a pre-joined L-shaped mitre, Brady will glue it and just clamp it in this until the glue's gone off, so he knows it's bang on square.
No, I think there'll be loads of uses that we could use these for. So yeah, you'll definitely see these in our posts.
Great, yeah.
No, I appreciate that, Alistair. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, do share about them. Thank you.
Amazing. But yeah, thanks for coming up as well. It's been a
pleasure.
Been a real pleasure to meet you, and someone who's obviously similar business and similar interest machinery. It's been really a pleasure to have you up here, honestly.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks for having me over.
And I'll see you in Switzerland next.
That's right. Yeah, I'll see you then.
Perfect.